Next up on the number one tee.
Well, hello and welcome back to your digital tea time. My name is Tori, and today we are talking all about speed training. We got two of my favorite golf fitness professionals. We have Andrew Hannon here. Hi, Andrew.
Hey, Tori.
Just never off social media. He's doing it right now. He's doing the sneak peek. I love it. Do you get sick of social media?
I've been kind of off of it a little bit. I don't know if you've noticed. Yeah, I've taken
purposely.
Yes.
Okay.
Like I screenshot my screen time and share it just to show like I'm trying to improve a little bit.
Oh my God. Wait, let's get into that. But we also have Zach Gulley here. Hi, Zach.
Hey.
How
Thanks
are
for
you?
having me.
I'm so glad you're here. I met you when I was at Milo Lyons Golf School. And you've been with Milo a while, right?
Yeah, I've been out at the same club that he's at for like 7 years.
Yeah.
So just kind of over the years, got closer and closer to him. And
sorry, the sound is a little weird. Hold on, I'm just going to go like that. Should be better now. Okay, so you've been with him for a couple years now. And what's your role there with Milo?
I'm his go-to fitness person.
I love
movement person.
And part of his camps too, you get like a one-on-one with you during that camp just to kind of do an evaluation, see where you're at, where you can improve.
Yeah, we've been going through some screening stuff just to figure out where people lack with how Milo teaches, which is a very rotary based swing with a lot of like side bending type.
Yeah. A friend calls it the squat and swing method.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the official term, but that's how I interpret it.
It's a lot of hip hinge.
But both of you guys are, I mean, Andrew's heavy on social media as far as carrying his business, his golf fitness business onto social media. Zach, have you gone in depth on social media yet?
I have a platform. I don't really use it.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Andrew, do we need to talk? What's going on? Is it just annoying you, the social media?
Not annoying. It's just, I feel like I've been doing it not crazy long, but start to see the trends of certain things and not really liking how the trend is going, I guess.
In regards to golf fitness or in regards to how these platforms are putting out your content?
Not even that. It's just now that I have a daughter, I try to, not that she, knows what's going on when I'm on my phone. So it's more of a presence thing for me.
Yeah.
So if she sees me on my phone all the time, even though it's for work, I'm just trying to be more aware of it.
Yeah.
And then also, the constant battle of always trying to be innovative and creative. And it's more of not taking a crazy step back, but just kind of reevaluating, okay, how I really want to go through this.
I admire you for, you said you're taking a screenshot of your screen time each day.
Yeah.
And what's your goal?
I didn't really have a goal in mind at first. It was just more of just being aware of it and just where I was at. I think in the beginning, I started in January just as called a resolutions goal or whatever, just to see and knowing how much time I did spend on social media, not even just to create, is more consumption for me. For a while, it got a bad habit.
Yeah.
So I think that was kind of the main goal, was to kind of get Instagram down. And if I keep it, even if I post or create a little bit, if I keep it under an hour, I feel pretty good about myself.
Yeah.
Then average screen time with as much as I drive, I listen to podcasts and stuff. So that's going to count into that. I mean, usually a good day is under, 2.5 hours or under 3 hours.
I didn't realize when you're listening to a podcast, that's considered screen
it counts.
time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if you're checking text messages or kind of counts on that.
Yeah.
Really good day is on a, I've talked this very long, but on a Sunday or during the weekend when I'm with family, I'll leave my phone to home. So there's been some good days where my screen time has been 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And it's been, I just sit there, it's wow, I feel accomplished. I feel present with my family. Yeah. And it was more of not having the urge to check it. It's sitting right there. Oh, let's just check something.
Yeah.
I didn't have the urge to check it all day. And that kind of went into the next week of really not trying to check it for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's inspiring because I find that I won't look at my screen time because that might scare the shit out of me. Like that might be alarming.
We should do it.
Have you guys thought about using a non-smartphone, going back to like flip phone?
I wouldn't go that far.
Wait, do you want to do it live right now?
You should.
How do I do it? Do I go to settings?
Go to settings.
Come on, you need to do it too, Zach, though. This is sharing is caring. This is bad. But it will just show today.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Screen time.
See settings and screen time.
Oh, well, at least I'm down 24% from last week.
See all activity. You see right there.
Oh.
Click on that.
Oh, no. Okay. What do you want to know? This is bad.
What's it say?
Well, what number do you want me to read?
Well, I'll just go through my mind. Even already today is at hour and 57 minutes.
Okay,
I've driven a lot today, so YouTube's on at 53 minutes because I've listened to podcasts online. My Instagram right now is at 7 minutes.
Okay. So mine today is at an hour and 34 minutes. Instagram's at 31 minutes. Oh, my TikTok's down 6 minutes. But usually my TikTok time comes on at night. So it just switched to day. Oh, yeah, Zach. I think Zach won the battle.
Are you bored today, Zach?
Well, I drove here and I was watching the Golf Digest certification on. So
nice.
That's up quite a bit. No,
so I admire that because working on social media, you can get consumed with it. It could become a habit. Like you said, just picking up your phone and looking at it. And like I go through, it's like I have a routine. Instagram. Okay. What's going on? Okay. Check email. Okay. What's going on there? Go to TikTok. Nothing going on there right now. Like you have like a cycle that you go through and it could be like every 7 minutes. I mean, it gets insane when you think about it.
And two, I think for me, I don't know if Zach can say this, like when I check it, I get in that mindset sometimes to like compare myself too much to other trainers or like what they're sharing. Like, oh, that's good information. Why can't I do that? Or, it's really good information. There's a lot of creative, a lot of innovative posts coming from maybe, that's kind of what they do for their job. They might be an influencer to the point of like we talked about they just left with, Paige. Like I couldn't imagine it at that level, what kind of anxiety and stuff she goes through just because it has to be intense with DMs and constantly try to promoting companies and different brands. So
then are you going into this next chapter then thinking, okay, this is how much time I really need to take to create content on social media and then backing away from there?
Again, I haven't really thought about like an approach to this. It's more of like, if I take this step back, more of like, okay, if I do consume, like I know how to catch myself, like, okay, let's just get off of this. Also, that's just kind of the thing I'm trying to like eliminate is just the mindless consumption. Like if I'm bored, like maybe, pick up a book. And better at that. If I'm with my daughter watching her, like if she's just playing, like I'll read instead of like sit there. Like that's an easy time to consume this crap. But on the business end, sometimes now it's to the point I have to be inspired to do things. Like I don't know what else really to share that's not already on there. I think people just want to see stuff, but I don't want to call them lazy, but they don't want to go all the way back. So, what exercise is this? What workout is this? So the best way for me, I think, is just maybe just kind of recycle through some things, maybe make it a similar post, and then it's still the same stuff.
Exactly.
But people think it's new.
Yeah. And that's part of being on social media and creating content is half the time you are just recreating the same idea, the same tip, the same exercise, it's just a new video.
Without getting caught of like it becoming like part of your identity. Like sometimes I get caught up, like I don't want to post like golf fitness stuff. Yeah. It might be something, nutrition or other habits or sharing the screen time and why it's important to me right now. Like sometimes you get caught in that. And if you don't get engagement and you're like, okay, that sucked, I'm not going to do that again. Instead of just not caring about it. And you care about it. And it's something that's meaningful.
Yeah. So before we get into speed training, because I'm curious and because you guys both are in the online presence, you're experts in your field. What does your online business look like? What do you want it to look like in the future? Zach?
I want to have a foundation like based system where when a golf coach sends me a player and they tell me exactly what they're doing, I just send them this 6 or 10 exercises that correlate with whatever foundation that could be.
Yeah. So for instance, like early extension.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, we could go down the rabbit hole of what's causing all of those things, but there could be 10 exercises that may work for most people.
And it would be almost like an online course kind of thing where they go through it and then they could just easily do it at home.
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that I'm trying to do right now, but I don't want to get super deep into that.
Yeah. But you have ideas.
Yeah. Yeah. And working with Milo's Academy. I mean, there's like 500 members now on that academy.
Exactly.
So there's infinite people that need help.
Does it excite you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you like the business side of it?
Yeah. Yeah. I like the in-person relation side of it most, which is why I've been so hesitant with online stuff. Because I feel like that's really where I excel. Is more the coaching aspect of things.
Yeah. But the whole idea of being able to not exchange time for money and have something living in the background making you money. That's
important. It's just.
Do you have kids yet, Zach?
I have 2 kids. Yeah.
You do.
7-year-old and 15 months.
Oh, 15 months.
Yeah.
Andrew, how old's your daughter right now?
She'll be 2 in 2 weeks.
Okay. So you guys are kind of in the same boat.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Andrew, how about you? Where are you at with your online business?
I have thoughts and visions on kind of where I want it to go. I mean, I've been kind of on the online space for especially selling programs or having online clients for, 6+ years now. But it's been inconsistent to the point of like, I'll have, players I'll build programs for, and then they've been pretty consistent for, years. And then I'll have one-off programs that people will purchase if I put something new out. Always try to put my mind in myself in the mind of like the consumer and where like a lot of things happening online and kind of how they like buy things, and people like to, purchase programs and watch it on YouTube. Do they like to, in that kind of sense, or like kind of how you do your stuff in your garage, like on Beachbody, like what do people like to do? How do they like to work out?
Yeah.
I've gotten caught with like, putting out like 12-week programs. And I think I'm in the mindset being, a trainer is like, okay, 12 weeks, I have to kind of commit to this. Whereas it's like a lot of amateur players or people that aren't really affiliated or, comfortable in the gym, like they think of 12 weeks, oh shit, that's a long time. Like, I don't know if I could do that. So like having the option to like, I think of like a Netflix of workouts to the point of like, okay, I get to choose what I want to do today. Instead of like people love options. They love new stuff. And even if the program is, structured in a way where it is organized, where it could be like a 12-week day, or it could be hey, here's a bunch of workouts you get to choose today, but it's organized in a way where like it's, they can do it on their own, at their own pace.
Yeah. Do you still feel motivated to grow that online?
I do. I think business? That's kind of the vision and the next step for me, especially in the business sense. We're trying to step away from, like we talked about, social media and just post workouts on there and just be comfortable with that. I think that's kind of the struggle too. Like it's comfortable, it's easy, I know how to do it. So now what's the next step of like really putting like a business program like together?
Yeah. Well, you guys are awesome.
It's got to be scalable, like really quick. And that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
It can pick up steam real fast. And if you don't have all the framework in place, then you're like drowning.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Okay. Let's get into speed training.
Sweet.
So so when I say speed training, that automatically means, and this is a question, so we want to gain more speed in order to get more distance, correct? Is that how it works? Or is there a way to get distance with being the same speed?
If you fix your equipment, you might hit it further.
Okay.
So.
Or you improve your swing.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think technique and equipment.
Yeah. So let's say those two things are in check or as close to possible as you can get. So at that point, if you still want to gain distance, then your swing has got to get faster.
Yes. I mean, I wrote a bunch of things down.
Yeah, and we're going to get into
like order.
Yeah, and we'll get into like a top 5. It's more.
Okay.
I wanted to just get into, okay, so you guys have customers coming to you though in your gym. What is kind of the most frequent thing they tell you the first time they see you?
It's always they want to hit it further.
It is?
Nobody ever wants to hit it shorter. Like no one.
Yeah, especially with your audience, the females that come in, that's one of the big ones.
Yeah.
For sure.
They want to hit it farther. And when they say that, are they saying 20 yards or are they saying just in general?
Honestly, I don't think they know.
Yeah, I think they notice when it's like 10, 15.
Yeah.
20 that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you might have somebody that comes back and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting it 50 yards further from this one thing. And you're like, really?
Was there a downwind going on?
Yeah.
Okay. So, but genuinely that is what they're coming in to say to you. Like, hey, I'm here. I want to train with you. I want to get on a program. I am dedicated to getting more distance. Yeah.
With women, sometimes they have pain, but it's less frequent with women. I've noticed that they have actual pains going on that correlate with their swings.
I agree. Yeah. I think too, again, they want to come in, they want the speed, or they play in events like you do, or they play with women that are hitting it farther than them. So this is like, they just want options or strategies or something just to give them the next push, like the edge.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's get into it. So you guys both have kind of a top 5 list of what needs to happen to gain. I keep saying gain speed because I've had a lot of guests on the podcast recently that keep saying speed training, and not saying gain distance. So that is like a hot topic in my mind right now, but let me know if I should be saying it differently, but let's get into it. What's your top 5 reasons or top 5 ways? We'll do number one.
Mine's going
first.
everywhere right now.
Just go one.
Swing number 1. Okay.
Okay. So the mechanics of your golf swing.
Correct. I see a ton of women come in and you look at their swing and they've either learned how to jump at an early age. So they create a lot of vertical ground force and then their arms move and
so they're lifting their chest as they're swinging.
Yeah. You could say early extension. I don't really like that term because
I don't think that
women, that's one of the most powerful things that they can do to create leverage on the club because it's so heavy. Mm-hmm. So what I see more frequent is like a thrusting motion with hips and then arms that are more loose.
Okay.
So with swing stuff, the way I look at it is creating more of a rotary based movement with more rigidness through their upper body.
And now that you said that rotary motion, is this all, so you want them working with a teaching professional first and then coming to see you and working on that rotary motion, or?
I fall more in the lines of doing movement based training with people and women, knowing what I want things to look like. And if in my mind, it looks like spine angles, maybe 45 degrees. And then we're trying to get shoulders and pelvis to work on that same angle. Mm-hmm. So my training would be a lot more movement based. I'm hoping that the golf coach takes the same angles and approach. Okay. Most of them do.
But I'm understanding it now. So you're saying a lot of women are lifting up their chest or going more vertical as they're swinging. So you're going to bring them into the gym and you're going to be putting them in the correct posture and doing a lot of training through that posture.
Right. I'm trying to manipulate their skill more with movement-based stuff first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's number 1. That's your number one. All right, Andrew, what's your number 1?
Yeah, I agree with all that. I think my mind kind of went with a different approach. So I'm just okay, I want to gain distance or speed. How do I get there? Mm-hmm. Instead of thinking right away, okay, I got to tweak with this, or what Zach was saying, more movement-based training. Mm-hmm. I was in the lines of okay, get with your coach. Say this is a goal of yours, and this is what are strategies I need to do with my swing to get there. Mm-hmm. And usually, hopefully, the golf coach is, really, it could be, you're not really hitting the center of your face very well. Mm-hmm. That's been shown to increase some distance by 3 or 5 yards.
Oh, I'm
just hitting the center of the face better. Mm-hmm. That's a technique thing. And even a mechanics thing. And also, if you get with your coach, you can establish a baseline. Okay, how fast do you swing now? If you don't know that, how do you know where you're going to go?
Well, and that is one thing you asked me when I started training with you. And I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually went and got a lesson very soon after I saw you for the first time. And I was like, okay, you got to tell me what my swing speed is. And I definitely had a number in mind, and it was nowhere near that.
See, that's the key. At least you kind of see, okay, this is where I'm at. And then if you see that number go up, it should go up on the course as well with distance. And usually a lot of coaches work with TrackMan or some sort of swing radar system, whether it's Flight Scope or whatever. So they'll be able to provide that for you.
Yeah.
So now that you have your baseline, that's where it's just like, okay, this is where I'm at. Okay, now what's the next approach? Here's my practice routine with how do I hit the center of the club face better? Maybe certain mechanics, you can work on for however many times a week you see your coach. Like that's what you should be working on. If like distance is the goal.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to increase my vertical jump if I'm a basketball player and I don't play basketball or I don't jump, like how am I going to increase that? How do I know where I'm starting from? So once you get with your coach, establish some goals, here's some things to work on, take some time during your practice session to kind of work on those things. And that was kind of my number 2. So if Zach wants to go.
Well, I want to just summarize that too. So again, you're saying that's great that you want to come into the gym and train, but if you're not taking lessons, seeing your coach on a somewhat regular basis, it's going to be really tough to just do it at the gym.
Yeah, because I had gym that's like 3 and 4 for me.
Yeah.
With golf, it's just like I think everyone's again looking for that edge or just like looking for that next thing, and they just want to kind of keep the routine of what they're doing with their golf swing or with if they like to play 3 times a week and not practice like how I would like to be, but if you're not working on these things, these simple things that could be, pretty general, you're not working hard at it. It's just like, you're not going to see much improvement. It's the same thing with the gym. You have more gym goals, but you want to keep up with your golf stuff. This is kind of the same thing.
Give and takes everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you're not going to lose weight if you don't pay attention to your nutrition.
For sure.
Exactly.
Womp womp. All right, Zach, what's your number 2?
Number 2 goes a lot along with the swing stuff, and that's sequencing. So sequencing's out of sorts. It's tough.
And give us what is the golf sequence? What's the swing sequence?
The most basic pelvis, torso, arms, wrist, club.
Yeah.
It's not like that for everybody. And it's not like that for a lot of tour pros, but that's what we teach because it seems to produce the most athletic motion. And that's like from transition.
So again, when you say sequence, there is an ideal sequence, and getting into that or getting as close to that sequence as possible will produce the most power.
It can.
So if your arms and hips are moving at not the right sequence, then just adjusting that can
add some whipping. Like we've all seen like the analogy of the whip. That's a big one. The analogy of the whip, So if the goal is to create more speed and you don't have sequencing in the most optimal for your body, then that's a good place to go.
And that too is going to be based with a golf instructor for most.
I mean, it would be, I think us exercise guys maybe probably do a better job teaching it in some senses, just because we're more used to using like different modalities like med balls and bands and weights and like teaching people how to sling their body. It's kind of a hot topic word.
Is that the hot topic word right now in golf fitness? Sling your body?
Yeah, slinging.
I like it.
Amongst other like fitness industries. So
concentrating on that sequence.
Sequencing, I think is big.
Andrew, what do you have next?
Yeah, I might go in the realms as that. I think, again, I had an order of like, okay, get with your golf coach. And I think we kind of touched on it a little bit. Like number 2, you have to practice this. Like how do you, like you have to practice swinging faster. And it's going to be uncomfortable and it's going to look dumb at first. But it's just like, how do you know what your body can handle if you're not swinging? You're just, again, keeping at your same tempo. You're just playing all the time. So you're going to keep that same tempo and the way you play.
Yeah.
Without even practicing how to swing faster.
So meaning if you're just playing rounds, you're barely going to the range, how are you actually going to practice swinging faster? You're not going to do that out on the course.
Yeah.
Like that's something you're doing on the range or even in your garage with some sort of speed trainer or
We can talk about that.
Yeah. And I'm glad you brought that up because, again, I think, consistent is the word, but it's just like, even if you do this, if we're in Arizona, if you're in a warm weather state and you're able to practice, like one time a week of, I saw this thing on TPL. So I'm sure Zach saw it too. It's called the 3-strike method. Have you heard of that? Did you see that?
I don't know.
So I think it was Dr. Rose that was going through it. He was kind of talking about speed training and how to gain distance. And he said they use the 3-strike method. It's just like, okay, if you have, again, this is a perfect scenario. If you have like a TrackMan or like a swing radar with you on the range, make sure you know that you're doing like a fresh like swing session. He was going through, okay, just go through like a normal warm up, like go through like a fairway finder. Okay, now, do a little bit more of like an intense swing. Okay. After that intense swing, see what your number is and write that down. Okay. Take a break for like 10 seconds and do another swing. You have to match that number or go faster. Okay. If you keep going faster, keep writing it down. Then once you hit below that number, that's when you stop. That's when you're starting to like get slower. Then you take a longer break, like 2 to 3 minutes, he said. And he said that higher number, okay, now that's your baseline. Okay. If you don't hit that again, that's another strike. So you see how it's like a speed training method. Again, you have to have some sort of equipment with you, some sort of technology so you could keep track of this stuff. So it might be smart to do like even at a lesson with your coach, or if, you can get swing radars for like, $100
on Amazon.
Yeah,
pretty cheap.
But again, if you go, the 3-strike is if you keep going below that number, if you hit that number again, like your session's done.
I like that.
I thought that was really, really cool.
And are you hitting balls?
You're hitting golf balls on the range.
So you're not just swinging.
No. And we'll get into that too, because that's like number 5 for me. But
I'm sorry.
Oh, you're good.
Okay.
But this is like, so you actually hit golf balls and you kind of know you're kind of swinging out of your shoes, but your only goal is to kind of beat that number or match that number.
Because we want to remember it's a skill.
Yeah.
You have to practice hitting it hard.
Yeah.
And then it's just like take another break and now start hitting again, go through your normal swing gun, start hitting some balls. And he was saying like, usually like after like a normal swing, like the number is going to be like 2 miles an hour higher from your previous baseline. And he said like the client said, I didn't feel like I swung at all. It's like, that's the point. That's what you want. It wants to be an unconscious type of feeling without thinking about it.
And are you using a driver usually with this?
Yeah, for sure. Because that's really all that matters for people want distance off the tee.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
I just visualize myself doing it with a 7-iron.
No, don't do that.
That seems silly.
You want to know your numbers with your irons. That's it.
Yeah.
You don't want to break your wrist.
Yeah. Sorry, Zach. So you like that method though?
Yeah. I've instructed my clients just to hit like as many balls as they can during a session, like starting like kind of like a pitcher's bullpen would, like maybe going like 30 balls and then working up in like a couple of weeks to 40 balls and tracking numbers as we go up.
But again, you're talking about 30 driver swings and trying to swing hard for 30 swings and tracking at each number.
Yeah. And not like consecutively, like giving yourself time to take breaks. Like once you're seeing those numbers drop a little bit.
Yeah. Cause 30 driver swings, it's a lot. That's a lot.
I mean, pitchers, Major League Baseball, they throw a lot of pitches while they're getting ready to throw in their game. Yeah. Like we should be doing the same thing.
For those monitors that you're just talking about, you can easily get them on Amazon. What are you searching? What is it called?
Like a
swing radar.
Swing radar or some sort of like golf swing speed thing.
Yeah, they're probably rechargeable or on batteries, and you just bring them to the range and you set them behind.
Yeah.
Right. Put the ball here, set it right there.
And it will tell you your swing speed, will tell you your distance too, or is that a different?
It depends. Some might, but you got to take point too. Like your accuracy on these things might not be crazy, but at least it gives you a number.
Yeah.
Right. It's not going to be like a crazy TrackMan like you're doing at Golf Tech or something. But again, it's going to give you some sort of baseline. So you know, okay, am I going up or am I going down with these swings?
Which also might be huge for motivation.
That too.
You start seeing that. And then that's a big thing for force production.
Exactly. So again, I just want to reiterate, this is something that you are practicing. It's not something you just go to the gym and you do, you train with your trainer and all of a sudden you have more distance. You are going to the range, you're swinging hard, you're doing these drills, this 3-strike drill or, the 30 ball, increasing to 40 balls. this has to be part of your routine.
And I was going to mention again, that's the perfect scenario. If you're in a cold weather state, you haven't swung a club in months. I usually tell clients that live in or East Coast or like up north, like, 3 times a week or if every day if you want to, or a lot of people have like mats or nets in their garage now, but at least I like to say like 50 swings in no matter what. And they don't even have to be like, fast swings. Just keep the volume up so your body gets used to swinging again. So I think a lot of people run into problems with hang out all winter up north and they'll come down here to play golf all excited. And then they haven't swung a club in 6 months. And then they're walking around with,
sore
back problems again, knees. It's like, I don't know why my back, you haven't swung a club in 6 months.
Yeah.
Think about that.
It's a pretty drastic movement.
Yeah. Or even been outside.
Yeah.
So now you want to go outside and swing, for 4 hours one way and then walk. So
you just shot a 98. You're all depressed.
Yeah. You still got 4 rounds to go.
You are so excited to come to Scottsdale and
then I can say, yeah, my stretch works. You better come.
Okay. So I briefly touched on swing trainers. Do you guys want to talk about those now, or should we wait to talk about?
It's up to Zach. That's like number 5 for me.
Yeah, it's pretty low on the list.
Okay, let's go to that last. Okay, Zach, what do you have on number 3?
Okay. Starting to get into force production would be where I'm going.
Okay. What does that mean?
Can you create more force than you do currently?
Okay, and how do you do that? Do you do that with ground force, like with?
I'm not even thinking ground force yet.
Okay.
Like, can you produce can you squat faster? Can you bench press faster? Can you row
so you're
faster?
You're in the gym now.
We're starting to go in the gym. Can you move faster than you currently do? So this is when it starts getting nerdy. We can do a whole bunch of different stuff.
Okay.
It depends on the person. So then we start to do screenings, find out where they're at, what type of body typing these people have, how mobile they are, how stiff they are. A lot of the people listening to this podcast are going to be pretty mobile, I would assume. So it's like you can kind of just start going into strength training based stuff and then start working your way up through the progressions with that.
So give me an example. Let's say a LPGA player comes in, wants to start training with you. What's an example of like their first session and their 20th session as far as gaining speed in the gym? Like what's an exercise that you're doing kind of the first time where you're trying to build speed through that and then seeing a difference a couple sessions in?
That's a tough one because then you're talking about a client that's already really, really good and trying to change their speed probably isn't going to happen.
Okay, well, let's talk about Betty Sue. Okay, she's in the ladies league. She's a 16 handicap.
There you go.
Okay, she plays 3 times a week, once with her husband, 2 with the ladies. And, she wants to be as far as Caroline Jane.
Sure.
Okay.
What's she do for a living?
She is retired.
Okay.
She's retired.
So she has a lot of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what are you going to work on the first session and then continue to build on? Like give an example.
We're just moving. Can she do lunges in 3 directions?
Yeah, she's healthy. Her knees and hips are working well.
Okay. So can she lunge body weight? Maybe that's the first day.
Yeah. Okay.
How fast can she push out of lunge?
Okay.
And then by, I don't know, session 20, is she doing it with 10 pounds? My big thing with people that are used to doing exercise classes or that type of stuff, if hand weights seem like a lot of weight, they are not. And we need to improve your strength. You need to get over the number of whatever's on the dumbbell and just do it based on how it feels. And if it feels like you can do more than that, then we need to go more than that. So
So you're pushing to exhaustion?
Maybe. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It's really about the speed.
Yeah.
Like, I try not to push everyone to complete failure, which the research shows that works pretty good, but I would prefer not to do that.
You'd prefer to get them to do things a little quicker.
Yeah. Which we might see that the industry trend more towards that. Here in the future, as we have all of our equipment that tracks velocity of everything, like the tonals and those different type of like magnetic.
I've heard a lot of good thing about that tonal.
I mean, those things are great because they have no numbers, like I was saying with the weights, and they automatically adjust to whatever your velocities are. So if you're training for strength, it like already spits right back out the correct amount of weight for you.
Yeah.
And I think the industry will trend to that, which would make our job a lot easier because then we take out motivation for people, intent, because they have to do it as much as they're putting out.
Yeah. So let's get back to your word force production.
Okay.
So explain it again now that we've kind of put it into perspective of as far as lunging and
how fast can you move a weight? That's it.
And that force production helps your golf swing, like improving that. Is it improving that force production or increasing that force production?
Increasing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, increasing it.
And that will just give your golf swing more power.
More strength. Yeah, more speed. That's all we're after.
Yeah.
And it would, you just have to start the equation with more force production, which starts with strength.
All right. Andrew, what do you have?
Yeah, I'm in the same lines. I'm in the gym now.
You're in the gym.
So we started with coach, and then the established plan there. Then it's like you have to practice swinging faster. That's more golf. So now again, if you're in a perfect scenario, you're looking to get stronger, like Zach was saying. That's where gym can really come into play. And then obviously a screening process would help with that, to know how you move, what's your experience with exercise and fitness, what your fitness age is, what's your experience with strength training. If those are all pretty low, and that's kind of a cool thing for me, because again, I like the coaching aspect of it as well. But usually they could see adaptations pretty quick with a pretty organized, structured strength plan. And it doesn't have to be golf related. I think that's where a lot of things get mixed up, where it's they're looking for like fancy exercises on BOSU balls or using fancy equipment, where it's just like, if they're not used to doing, and then we're talking about, again, someone in your audience, or like I said, Susie Q, whatever, whoever you said, 16 handicaps, a little bit older, is retired. And they might have some restriction with their knees or with their back in the gym. I mean, they might feel good now, but teaching them how to hinge and squat properly might take a little bit of time.
Yeah.